Welcome back, guys. We're gonna do Italy this time. Roma.
We're nearing the graveyard now.
Vesta, when was the last contact with the engineering squad?
Yeah, I forgot about this. This is a pretty difficult section, too. Italy's pretty tough, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of sections where it's just like, they just throw you in and just hope you figure it out.
The Basilica was Minerva's rendezvous point. We start there.
I should never have been out here.
Nobody else knows how to set the audio lures.
Well, there's no final push without them.
Hey, use the fog for cover.
Does anyone copy? I'm in the Basilica. Can anyone hear me?
Follow squad inbound.
The rest of Minerva is pinned down in the monastery.
Stay where you are. We'll get them next.
I don't even know where I'm walking to.
What have
Oh, there we go.
Let's
Ooh.
get noisy.
Okay, well anyways. As I said before, I think I was talking about Andrew Jackson and the end of his presidency, which largely goes into Juan Van Buren's presidency, is the Trail of Tears, which is him trying to save a specific Native American tribe. And this leads to some difficulties, as a lot of the natives end up dying, going through horrendous difficulties. I'll be fair, many of them wanted to stay, but it's basically either you leave or you pretty much die, because there's only so much that the federal government's going to be able to do for you at that point against the native citizens. So it was largely just pick one or two evils is unfortunately is how it should be properly characterized, but it's never characterized as that. It's just this evil thing that occurred that could have been avoided, which it really could not have. And if you want to try to justify it or try to, dissuade it, then by all means do so. But you're gonna have a very difficult time to justify it, because either they exist or they go through something equally as horrendous. Again, it's not a good thing, or it's not a good thing at all that they had to go through that. There's just the difficulties and the harsh realities of the socio-political environment that they were largely in at that point. And I think what made it even more difficult historically, legacy-wise, for Andrew Jackson was it wasn't him that specifically was one that did it. What happened in, I think around 1838, 1839, when Martin Van Buren was president, but it's largely attributed to him, which I don't think is completely fair.
I'm seeing more Zeke. Kill them all.
Lord. Okay, I remember this part. This is going to be very, very difficult.
I guess I'm not done yet.
I definitely need to look at every single thing that I can possibly find, because I am in for a real treat. And it's not just this part, it's the next part too. But certainly going to put one here. If I can find another one, then that would be absolutely beneficial. I want a shotgun. Don't give me shotguns, bro.
Better get this place locked down before we start.
Now this will absolutely help. Can I put barbed wire in here? I cannot. Ugh. Damn it. Probably shouldn't have done that. Should not have done that. This will help.
fire set. Lurker down.
Ugh. Ooh, much better. I will take a sporting carbine over that any day. Okay.
Slowest winch ever.
There. This is gonna help quite a bit. Let me put that upstairs, so that I can avoid that situation from occurring.
Are you sure?
Going to put one in here.
Electric blade in position.
Running.
Bang!
Oh crap.
This better be it.
Okay, just gotta survive. Doing good. Andrew Jackson near the end, though. He's nearing, I think, his God, he's gotta be well into his 60s at this point. When in the last nearing the end of his presidency. Should also note he's also the first president to have actually ever had an assassination attempt done on him, and it is probably the most just incredible story you can ever imagine. That would just, it's literally almost like it's out of a comedy. He is coming home, or he's coming from a funeral, I believe, of a fellow friend and politician. You know, imagine he's got a cane at this point. You know, he's nowhere near the man that he once was. A lot of the vigor has largely left him, which is also a big reason why he left, because he just wanted to continue the policy of the presidency of the United States, which was standard at the time. Just 2 terms, in and out. That's it. And he is going to, I believe, the Capitol building at this point. And the would-be assassin comes up with a gun at the steps and tries to fire at him. And the gun jams. And then the guy freaks out, has a second gun. That gun also jams. And what ensues is quite hilarious, because Andrew Jackson, being Andrew Jackson, is so pissed off. It's like, are you kidding me, you rambunctious? And then just starts beating him senselessly with his cane, to the point that whatever bodyguards, people that are there, are actually physically forced to try and pull the president off from being the guy and murdering him. Which would be the first... you just imagine, like, the 2 times that the president actually killed someone, it's just like, oh, that'll never happen again. Just the way that it all ended up manifesting itself. But he beats the guy senselessly. He's arrested. He ends up breaking like 15 bones in the guy's body. Like, Andrew Jackson, do not play around. Does not play around. And do not play around with the guy, because he will eat you up. Just mercilessly murk you. But he leaves office and just lets people do his thing. Just retires. I believe his wife does outlive him. Not quite positive or 100% sure. God. What is this? Stationary. So what's going to happen in this part is I'm going to drain the water here, and all hell's going to break loose.
The 50 cal is up.
Okay, is there anything else? Oh wait, crap. Never mind. Oh crap. Okay, whatever. I made my bed. Let's just take these suckers out as much as I humanly can. Make this as simplistic and easy as possible. Gonna drop you there. Gonna drop you there. It's just a stationary one now. I think there is a lurker right here. Which, take that to the grave, sucker. this is gonna come off and become real handy.
Pumps just open. Manage. Not my day.
'Cause they're not gonna stop coming for a very long time. And we gotta deal with all these fools too. And that guy.
I can't say for how long. Have to reload.
Crab baskets.
Let's get noisy. I think that's the last. I'm here. Come get me.
This is a no bueno situation, guys. We just gotta keep going.
Fight on.
Andrew Jackson eventually does die. I think 1848. I think he lived to be about 70-ish. Memory serves right.
Moving out. Let's go. Basta. We're at the monastery.
Go get him.
Now this is where it just becomes damn near impossible.
That can't be all you've got. Hey, you can see
I don't know if it made it. Nope, it definitely did make it. Okay, I'm not even gonna talk to them. I gotta fortify this place because this is just gonna be mass,
Final push is a go.
just pure, unadulterated destruction. So I need to find good weapons. I need to find everything that I humanly can in this part. So the automatic turrets will help. It just depends on where they're gonna be coming from. But it's gonna help if I put one here.
Auto turret set.
Which we're going to talk about, which leads into the number 8th president of the United States of America, Mr. Martin Van Buren, which no one talks about, and I find very fascinating. Of all the great political figures, he's one that his name will never be mentioned, and I think it's a bit of a travesty, because he's so deeply fascinating, highly intelligent. Now, is he devious? That's up to interpretation, I think. There will certainly be arguments that many believe that, he might be... I think some people will probably equate him to, let's say, maybe his era's kind of like smarter, less evil Hillary Clinton. Take that with whatever you want to make of it.
It's time.
Yeah, look at that.
Come get me. Come. That can't be all you've got.
Now, I need to use everything to my absolute advantage, because this is going to be just non-stop chaos, non-stop destruction. Just... ugh.
I'm here. Come get me.
Okay, here goes. God,
I got sick on me.
not good, not good, not good, not good. Oh, for the love of God, people, please save me. Thank you. Ugh.
When in doubt.
Now, I think the second wave's going to be coming up pretty soon. And this is just going to be absolute unadulterated chaos. Oh, that's the guy over there. I think they're going to be coming from the right this time. If memory serves me right.
Come for the big one. Big guys down. Done messing around.
Unless I'm not remembering things correctly. I heal myself while I have some time.
I guess we keep fighting.
Yep. Here they come. Maybe I can just stay here and shoot like crazy. Take out a couple more of them. Ah, God. Oh, game, you really don't like me today. Oh.
That was so close. Let's get noisy.
They are not going to be stopping, so we just have to defend, defend, defend. Hope and pray, defend. Oh man, this turret is coming up big, fam.
Keep an eye on the infector. I think that's the last of them. Nice build for the lurk.
And we've done it.
Vesta,
Sweet.
all the engineers are safe.
Now, I only worry about this level because I've died so many times on this level that it became a real problem.
He can take me to Venice. Just got word that we took him back.
Grazie a Dio.
Let's get to work. Can't let
But that
Raven
is
show
what
us
I
up.
like to call beautiful. Alright, this part's over. We're going to continue on to the next part very, very, very soon. Welcome back. Part 2 of the Italian campaign, which is going to be a very difficult campaign. The Italian one's probably up there in terms of its overall difficulty, so let's see if we can get past this second chapter of episode 6. God. Okay. Just breathe. We got this. It's on easy. Come on. And for those of you who don't know, I'm playing this on easy because the harder difficulties, especially for the single-player campaigns, tend to be just a little difficult, to say the least. Not overwhelmingly so, but enough to where it just becomes difficult to manage without, actual regular players, especially when it's just your AI companions.
I'm gonna say it again. This plan was too ambitious.
You want to hide forever?
Vulcan SWAT are dead. You know it. So our
Martin Van Buren was the 8th president of the United States, born in New York from an immigrant family, Dutch family, by the way, why the name's Van Buren. I think he was the only president where his first language isn't English. He spoke Dutch. His father and family ran like a tavern where a lot of people came to visit from all across the states. So, just imagine seeing a lot of people from like Virginia, the Carolinas, come through. A lot of these people with a lot of political connections, and he learned from a very young age the game, I guess you would probably quote it as, and saw what it would take to all the deals that would happen and how it would manifest, especially in New York City. He is like the second generation of Americans post Alexander Hamilton. He's like the first generation post Alexander Hamilton and founding fathers that really became incredibly influential. God, that became incredibly influential in the New York political scene. Tammany Hall and all that's really kind of propped up for the most part since Alexander Hamilton's time, and he's kind of largely a part of that. Not specifically a part of Tammany Hall, but certainly it's him, it's Tammany Hall, it's all those people, and really just chirking and just dominating the ideological and political scene as he's growing up. Becomes a lawyer. And he's one of the few people where it's like lawyer is his profession. He doesn't have any other things going on, no other trades, or he's not getting any money from anything else. He's purely and squarely a lawyer, and a famous one at that, in New York as he's growing up. Mary's pretty young, has a historically a very wonderful relationship with his wife, and I think she does end up passing away pretty early too. I could be mistaken, but I believe, or is it, or does she die like very quickly after he becomes president? I know he outlives her, from my memory. Let's just put the breach charge here and see what we get. But greatly influential. I mean, if I had to decipher his politics, it's a little difficult to just summarize. He's for a lot of things, but ultimately I think he would probably be considered more of, I think at his core, a bit of a Jeffersonian type, just like Jackson and Hamilton and all that, which is why, because he was a Democrat Republican too, just like most people were, or becoming at that time. But certainly a particular set and wing that's against what's going on with the federal government. Not entirely so. I think he was okay with a lot of philosophies and saw more than just the state arguments and divides that were permeating and really prevalent around that particular time. But it is more so difficult to say with what he thought of growing up and what he thought of as a growing political figure. Now, he does have a lot of books, a lot of notes, especially at the end of his life too, just like a lot of these other presidents, like him, Quincy Adams, Ulysses S. Grant has a lot of stuff, which he wrote a lot until the day he died, but I think it's good to just get a good idea if you want to really learn about Martin Van Buren, because I think he's one of those figures that is probably far more influential in the history of this country and doesn't get talked about in that particular way as an influential figure in the history of this country. But he's done quite a lot. Whoa. Did I do that? I don't know. Irva, you guys are just getting owned right now, bros. Why should I save y'all? You haven't done anything for me yet. You just made me go around doing nonsense. Oh, they are giving me a lot right now. And they're going to be coming from every single direction, every single corner, so I really need to choose my... Okay. I don't even know where to put half this stuff, to be honest with you. Put this here.
Let's hope the power lasts.
And just like many people of the time, politics is a big thing to get into if you want to rise up the ranks of just the, the social classes. Let me see. And for him, he saw, I think, I don't want to say like a brotherhood. That's not probably the right way to say it, but a kinship in a lot of ways with Andrew Jackson during the election of 1824. There's a lot that goes into his life, but I want to just summarize everything because I did study him pretty well and thoroughly, but and I'm more fascinated by just the politics of his time and his particular era more so than anything else, really. But he specifically, I think, how do I even summarize it or put it? Like, he had a real issue with a lot of the politics that were going on, I think, in fairness. Specifically with the actual Hillary Clinton of his time, my personal view, Henry Clay, who is a big prominent figure within the Whig Party, or the growing Whig Party at that point. And he specifically has this rivalry with him, and similarly with Andrew Jackson, with Henry Clay, that really permeates the era and the time that they are in. I think that's more fascinating than anything else. I think he ends up doing a lot of the things just to pretty much make sure Henry Clay didn't have power and influence, because Henry Clay was far more about, we're going to use the federal government to do X, Y, and Z. We're going to go more expansionist. And for him, Henry Clay was always more about power, I think, and influence than anything else. I mean, Henry Clay was like one of the youngest Secretary of State, Speaker of the Houses, and just a real big rising star within his particular time and era that no one talks about, that really dominates that particular era of politics. And Martin Van Buren and Andrew Jackson are largely probably the two people in particular that I think pretty much make him a footnote in relative history, which I personally applaud them for. Oh goodness. Go away, people. I want freedom from you guys. I want freedom.
Go for the Vatican, Apollo. Won't stay this quiet for long.
We got you, Vesta. We're rolling.
Thank you, turrets. Now we go. We outie.
When in
We
doubt,
got one shot on this. We should probably change it, but I think we're okay. We're gonna make this work.
Next stop, Vatican.
Luna Squad is reporting massive resistance
Do,
along
do,
the
do,
Arrow
do.
area.
Now I will say, at least when Martin Van Buren is doing the political behind the scenes, because you understand, he's doing a lot of behind the scenes where he's basically helping Andrew Jackson get the votes. He's going state to state, making sure that there's, I guess you could say, PACs everywhere, supporters everywhere, make it known that Andrew Jackson's the guy, and that we are a part of the democratic process as well. Or, it's kind of largely what started a lot of the stuff. And, yeah, he's a big reason why the Democratic Party even exists today, because of his push forward towards more of a people's coalition than actually the ruling class kind of, like the oligarchy kind of thing going on. He's antagonistic towards that, although ultimately and ironically the Democratic Party eventually does go the way of an oligarchy over some time. But that's for another part, another story.
that's clear. Drive.
Where is my ammunition? Ugh.
All empty.
Dance, sucker. I've actually never used the crossbow in this game. Oh. Maybe I should use the crossbow more in this game.
That can't be all you've got.
I think I like the crossbow in this game. Thank goodness.
Get going, Luke.
We are rolling. Gates not opening.
Might be a way to open it from inside.
Got the keycard reader on this side.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Nothing.
Okay. But long story short, Martin Van Buren ultimately ends up becoming an influential figure within the Andrew Jackson presidency, becomes the vice president of Andrew Jackson in his second term, integral in the creation of the Democratic Party, and really, you want to talk about a smart political figure and just pure savvy. You're not going to find anyone better. Yeah, just long story short there.
Through the gate. Move!
Yeah.
Now we are going to the Vatican. Let me heal myself real quick. Now, when Andrew Jackson does leave, and it's pretty much him that's the last real strong, prominent figure within the Democratic Party, he runs in the election of 1836, wins pretty decisively, although it is a little contested. I think that one was against Henry Clay in particular, and he whoops them, gets enough votes, and this leads to him running and winning and becoming the 8th president of the United States of America. Now, it does get a little tricky. His presidency deals with, I think, two things. One, the fallout of the Andrew Jackson presidency. One is the aggressive westward expansion that the country was going towards and going through, which led to a lot of people, I forgot the actual term. It's when you buy land, prospecting or spectering, whatever you want to call it. When you buy land in order to actually sell it for a higher cost kind of thing going on. A lot of people speculating, I think it's what's called. Again, my brain's a little fried right now. But over speculating, which led to a small but incredibly noticeable depression that greatly affected the country. And y'all tripping right now. This is ridiculous. In the base. Have some decency, fam.
Order is down. Hold them back. Let's hope the power lasts. Auto turret set. Cluster is down. Let's get noisy.
You know, I'm ready. Let's just go for it.
Vector has been stopped. Ready or not? Here they come. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Heads up! To the right!
Yeah. And, oh, come on. Fire it. For the God, people.
They're here. I'm here. Come get me.
Don't know how well this is gonna go, but we're gonna see. Now, his presidency is really a difficult one, unfortunately, for him, because without Andrew Jackson really in the political sphere, and without the backing, I guess you could say, of Andrew Jackson, he's pretty much just resting on his laurels, and it's not very conducive for him. He doesn't have the support. A lot of people are relatively, I don't want to say antagonistic towards him, but I think there's going to be some pushback and opposition towards him without real support outside of the Democratic Party, which is going downhill a little bit because without Andrew Jackson as the figurehead, and also on top of that, people are dissatisfied with the economics. It becomes difficult. I think he ends up losing his party loses the midterms, and it's just difficult throughout for his presidency. That has to do with the troubles of the dealing with a lot of the other Fallout stuff, like obviously the Trail of Tears, and just things are not going his way throughout his terms as president. It just becomes difficult, and it becomes difficult for him to really survive, and ultimately just becomes a one-term president. In fact, they actually do a bunch of the whole political things, and really the Whigs do smarten up in the election of 1840, which I'll get to in a little bit, which leads to... Gotta hurt. Yeah, it's not happening, is it? Yep, it's not happening. Oh, thank you. Now you want to come. Let's do this again. God.
Okay. They're all going down.
Running. It's very difficult to explain his presidency because it's super short. He's dealing with just about everything that you could think of. And if you want to grade a president on the things that they do, that they can and cannot do during their entire presidency, which I think is very, very fair, then he ultimately didn't do a good job. And there's just no other way to explain it. But I would give him the benefit of the doubt in the sense that I think it's understandable why he didn't do that good of a job, and why he went through a very difficult point and phase in his life and career. But he loses the election of 1840 to Mr. William Henry Harrison, and this leads to... Are they coming? Oh, they are. They are coming. They are definitely coming. This leads to real difficulties, really for the rest of his life. He still works very well and regularly as a lawyer, but any political ambition that he had as a president, as a young man, hoping to continue forward, being, from just like a young tavern boy to now, to the presidency, it's pretty much just relative mediocrity in relative comparison. It is unfortunate. And yet he might be one of the most influential figures of, I would say, the 1800s, really, in so many ways. And, I just don't think it's entirely fair for him. And it's unfortunate. Did we do it? Let's do it. Broadcast this bad boy. I think we did it, guys. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, we did it.
My countrymen. You're hearing my voice because we have reached a turning point in this war. We won't run anymore. Tomorrow, we take back Rome. Our brave fighters will converge on the Colosseum for a final push against the infected. I ask you to be their guardian angels. If you have ammunition, use it. We need all of you. Together, we will turn the tide. Godspeed, brothers and sisters.
Beautiful. We're going to end this part here. Stay tuned for the final part of Italy. God bless. See you in just a little bit. Welcome back, folks. We are going to do the last part of Italy. Me. Ugh. A very intense level.
This is it, everyone. Minerva squad is holding fast. Let's bring them some bodies. Hope
Start moving to Spanish Steps. See you all at the Coliseum.
So we all see that this plan is
Here we go.
crazy, right?
It'll work.
Is he Spanish Steps? Ooh, it's a lot.
Would you prefer we sing a happy tune?
That is a
Sink
lot.
your teeth into us?
Hey, enough. Let's have our own. Let's get this over with.
The restaurant. Checkpoint is through there.
I'm gonna end talking about Martin Van Buren right now, our 8th president. You know, he lived a pretty long life after he became president, and lived all the way up until he was well into his 80s. In fact, I think he's the oldest president to have actually lived during the Civil War. He actually outlived most of his successors, really. I think pretty much all of them, except for Pearson Buchanan. It's very strange because I think, 'cause I know he lived into the early goings of the Civil War itself. Which, again, just find funny. If you don't think about. Ooh, what's in here? No. No. I would like good things, please. Can you imagine you're president in like 1838? I think pride is a big reason why he also lost too. I think the biggest thing for him, specifically for why he didn't win his re-election bid, I think really more than anything else, was the beginning issue that was starting to permeate the particular time and era, which was Texas. It would actually be a big issue for the next 3 presidents, believe it or not. The issue of statehood and just basically what are you going to do with it. A sound trap.
Apollo, there's a sound trap close to your
Sorry, guys, that's the first time I'm seeing this. What is a sound trap? Alright.
Sure, why not? This? Does it actually work?
I feel like this game is just introducing new things now. It's weird.
It's out of juice. Needs to recharge.
All teams, report in.
Ah.
But we're pushing through.
Base is set. Same here.
Just out of curiosity, I want to see how that goes.
Apollo squad is at the steps.
Copy that, Apollo. Minerva standing by. Activate your lure.
Maybe I don't.
Go to defense kit.
No, I'm just gonna put that. Oh,
Lurker here. Gas back there.
oh.
Circle them back. Lurker down.
Thanks, it's fine. Let's go.
You know, I should put that thing
Auto
here.
turret is online.
I don't even know where to put this. I don't even know where to put anything, really.
Found some defenses. Quietly as we go. Mortar set. Base It's time.
Vesta, we got them. Trigger the next sound lord.
Apollo, we've got a
Here they come.
What happened?
But long story short, Martin Van Buren leaves his office. He loses his re-election bid due to the growing Whig Party because of some relatively smart coalitions being made, admittedly, which ends up truly working out in his favor, in the Whigs' favor, and Henry Clay to a certain degree. And Martin Van Buren, fascinating post-presidency. I'll just put it that way, because like I said, he outlives most of his eventual successors. I know he outlives at least the next 3 or 4, honestly, which is crazy to think about, because his immediate successor dies, like, immediately. And then, take that back. I think John Tyler might have lived pretty long, and I know he lived a pretty long life too. Tyler's a fascinating person. Can't wait to talk about him. But in particular,
Going to rip this apart. Come get me then.
but in particular, I would say at least, let's say 4 out of the next 5. He's pretty much outlived, or 3 out of the next 4. It's crazy to think about.
Apollo, we've got a problem. The engineers can't trigger the second lure from their end.
Damn it!
There's a panel on the speaker tower. Activate it, and you can trigger the second lure from there.
Oh, that's stupid. Crawling with Zeke down there.
The tower panel is the only way we can push the signal.
It's not safe here. We should move. Live to fight on.
So you're probably asking what happens after for Martin Van Buren. Well, I will say he doesn't go quietly into that good night. I will tell you that.
We can cut through there.
He still tries to be politically active. He wants to be relevant, still have political power, even though he's in relative, I guess you would say, political shame after losing his re-election bid. He certainly doesn't have the firepower he once did, which I think is a very fair statement. But he still has enough fortitude to where he's potentially the next, the incumbent nominee, effectively. I think the Democrats really wanted to run with him. In 1844, or the subsequent election, really, they were trying to. Ultimately failed for 2 reasons. One, because of quite literally the reasons why Martin Van Buren lost to begin with, was his refusal to support Texas as a potential state and for statehood,
I see the lurker.
and a bunch of tariffs that were going on too. Like Martin Van Buren trying to be somewhat forward thinking and not wanting to be land grabby kind of presidents. There's many different reasons why, but ultimately it's the issue of Texas, the issue of slavery, the issue of and it largely had to do with ultimately the support of the southern states and the southern Democrats, which is why in subsequent elections, Democrats really started leaning heavily into that as the political party. Even though, like, many of the Democrats were Northerners that would become presidents subsequently. Let's just say they were kind of, just they were not going to bite the hand that fed them. Oh goodness. See if I can just chuck a grenade. That work? I would love it if that worked.
Shit, you see that? Look at him go.
Minerva better be ready.
Right in my aim.
Van Buren, what? Good lord.
That can't be all you've got.
Sick and tired of your crap zombies. Leaves office, tries to run again in the subsequent election, ends up, good lord.
They're everywhere. I guess I'm not done yet. I'm here. Come get me. Come on. The goddamn cage is broken. Reload.
He leaves political office, becomes a lawyer again. He ends up actually running as a third party candidate at one point. And
Thought that was the end for
like I
sure.
think it was called the Reform Party or something like that. Surprisingly, that was actually a big reason why. Oh, look at that, fam. Italians be smart.
Jump right in, meatbags. Apollo to Vesta. We're with Minerva.
Good work, Apollo. Set up defenses.
That's wild.
Be ready for anything.
Whatever your issues with games, that's just badass. I remember this part being really complicated. Really? That's the best you're gonna give me in terms of my guns? BS, bro.
Auto turret set.
But anyways, he ends up being the nominee of the Reform Party, which actually I think is a big reason why,
Hold them back.
or some people speculate is a big reason why Democrats would actually lose in the subsequent election
The 50 cal is
against
up.
Zachary Taylor, and I think the Democratic nominee was named Lewis Cass. Ooh, you got it.
What have we got?
Which I can see that. I just think it's more likely that conventional wisdom's gonna just tell me that that election's more about people voting in a war hero versus a hostile and contentious potential presidential candidate kind of thing. I don't know. It's hard to explain. That's going to be a very fascinating election when we get to it. But largely, ah crap,
No, you don't. Get back in your hole.
we gotta go. We just gotta go for it.
Keep those engineers safe.
They're gonna be coming.
All squads, dig in for the last stand.
Back out. Reloading.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty. I don't know why I'm singing that song. Just remember Chameleon there, and I was like, man, this guy's got some beats. He's got some rhymes and rhythm, bro.
That can't be all you got.
Infector has been stopped. We got an engineer down. Help them.
Bringing my A game.
And miss my battle rifles. Come on. Of course. Get on. Don't make me. I will use this. Oh, crap. Sorry, bro.
Apollo is completely fucking surrounded.
What else does he do? He continues to try to go for certain political offices. Largely just chills. Again, he was one of the few presidents that actually lived during the Civil War. So, and he was one of the Democrats who actually sided with northern states. Actually had a correspondence with Abraham Lincoln pretty much until he died, trying to give him advice on what to do and how to do things, and the ideas of the Democratic Party, and insider information kind of things. That's why I think he's interesting, because he was very politically savvy. So I think a lot of the things that he ended up advice-wise and an advisory role to Lincoln, who at that time when he was giving it to him, he's probably at least well into the 70s. He probably really used a lot of the advice. It's probably a big. I'm not saying it is the reason, but Martin Van Buren's probably like, look, man, this is an issue about. This is going to be one of these particular things where it's going to be an issue of this, and you have to just bite the bullet and just say, alright, this is going to be about slavery. Like, we're just going to have to literally just bite the bullet and just deal with the consequences. Just the reality that this is what it is. You never know. He dies in the second or third year of the Civil War, and as Martin Van Buren. Now, as we are finishing this and protecting these engineers for the last section of the game, I do want to talk a little bit about William Henry Harrison, who is our shortest termed president in the history of this country by no stretch of the imagination. Quite literally, just he's only in office for like a month and a half. It's crazy to think about, and all because he just wanted to be a bit of a narcissist and just have a excessive speech that was grossly just not necessary in any way.
Hold the line, Apollo. Just a moment longer.
That can't be all you got.
I have no issue with people doing speeches. I don't have any issue with them, talking about what they're going to do or try to give hope to some certain individuals and people. Although I think that is narcissistic a little bit, where it's like, why am I this person that's going to do all the hope and stuff like that? But nope. I think even to this day, William Henry Harrison still has one of the single longest inaugural speeches in the history of this country. It's all the reason why he got sick and died. As I die right now. My throat. Here we go. About to see something beautiful.
Hey, Zeke! We got you a present!
All squads, we did it. Scouts are reporting empty streets all over the city.
I thought winning would feel better.
We just reclaimed our home. Can't you enjoy that?
Beautiful.
We got a fighting chance now.
Now that's how you end a
It's
campaign.
not a bad comeback.
You know, low-key, the Italian one might be pretty difficult, but it is,
I could live
I
with
think,
that.
one of my favorites. Alright guys, God bless. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We're going to continue with the last section in just a little bit. Hope you all have a good day. Like and subscribe.